My name is Jason J. Rock Houston, and you are listening to Chaotic Riffs Magazine. We can be found on the web at www.chaoticriffs.com. Our special guest tonight is lead singer Mike Craig from the band Farewell to Fear. How you doing tonight, Mike?
Hey, bud. How are you doing?
I'm doing great now. You guys are based out of Florida, is that correct?
Yes, that's correct. Actually, we're scattered a little bit, which is kind of strange, but not strange nowadays. But for the most part, based out of Florida.
Okay, so with that, yeah, because I was looking on the website to see where you guys were from, and it states kind of like we were saying, everywhere USA, which I kind of dig. So, could we start off the interview with you sharing with us how the band was initially formed, and the fact that you guys all live in different parts of the country, how y'all initially hooked up in that?
Yeah, actually, it was 8 years ago, which is kind of crazy. But actually, we all met through mutual friends.
Oh.
Bass player, drummer, Jimmy and Jeremy lived in New Orleans, and we had met through mutual friends, and it became a passion for something we just wanted to do. We've always played music all of our lives, but you meet certain people, and it just clicks. And then it was, okay, I think we should, invest a little bit more into this and see where it goes. And then we started adding on different people. And then I'm a firm believer of, if you find the right people,
you can make it.
Then anything else can come next.
Yeah. And of course, the key to any successful band is, I think, you got to have the songs, obviously. I mean, you can have a band of great-looking guys, but if you don't have the material, you don't have the songs, you're not going to go too far. So with that being said, I was curious, does everybody contribute to the songwriter, or being that you're the singer, are you the main songwriter?
Between myself and with several producers as well, we do the majority of the songwriting. Oh. And then basically we take certain riffs back and forth and certain ideas back and forth, and we weigh in on everyone else's input. So I think it's important to have everybody weigh in a little bit on the writing process. But at the same time, sometimes it's not always a winning proposition when you have 5 or 6 different guys all trying to be the main songwriter either.
Yeah.
But everybody definitely weighs in and kind of gives their flavor and what they like and what they don't like, and add certain things and tweak certain things here to help the process along.
Yeah, and I'd imagine being the singer and the guy that's got to sing these lyrics when you're up there on stage, that it helps to have a role in the songwriting as opposed to as opposed to you just singing somebody songs that were written by somebody else.
For sure, and it does. It makes it a lot easier, and it always has. It hasn't always been that way. I mean, we've had a myriad of songwriters that we worked with in the past, and some other guys that have been in the band in the past, and we've always worked together. But as a vocalist, and it's when you're working with someone else's material, it definitely makes it a little more difficult than you getting in there and crushing out and cranking it yourself, and because you know what your limitations are.
Yeah, and then on the flip,
what's going to come over live and what's not.
And then on the flip side, when you bring other people, to the table, there's something called collaboration, and I do think when you collaborate with other people, the one benefit is it helps to keep it fresh. Where there's different people bringing in their influences to the music. So, how what's that process like for you? I mean, how much do you enjoy collaborating, with people outside of a band?
Well, we do every album. This is what we've done. We've had 2 EPs, and this will be our second full-length album that's coming out May 18th. And we've actually our past 2 we worked with Brett Hessela as a producer on New Blood, which is our first album, and our Legacy follow-up, which was an EP called Legacy, and which was great collaborating with somebody like Brett, who's he's an amazing guy. And if you recall, Brett was basically the songwriter and singer behind Dark New Day, bass player for Creed. I mean, the guy's been around. He's done some amazing things. Virgos Malloy was his band. So, I mean, he's done some really great stuff and been able to make a stretch into different directions to create a particular sound. And so when we, but it was time for a step above. Maybe this is a step in a newer direction, maybe for this particular album called Voices that's coming out. So we ended up working with a very, very close friend of mine, David Starkey, which was with Burn Season and Puddle of Mud, and we were going for a particular sound, and we couldn't get that all by ourselves. We just couldn't. It was like we have to have that outside collaboration to take a slight shift from where we were to where it is that we want to go. And he was kind of that really key component in making that happen.
And as far as the new album coming out, Voices, what was the writing process like that for? I mean, did you have a lot of these songs or lyric ideas before you hit the studio, or did you kind of go in the studio and jam these songs out as you were recording them?
A little bit of both. I'd say this particular, it was probably 50-50.
Uh-huh.
A lot of the ideas were already on paper, lyrically, and some thoughts and some ideas, and the rest was just, on the fly in the studio.
Yeah.
Or someone come into the studio and say, you know what, this is where I want to go with this song, but then you halfway through it, you go, nah, scrap that, let's just write it from scratch. Because the different mood and where the song was taking might be a little bit different. So it was a great experience, and we really had a good time recording.
Wow. And so what was the recording process like for this? I mean, were you guys all, like you said, you're kind of spread out, so was everybody in the room together? Did you, go in one recording studio? Did everybody kind of mail their parts in, or, what was that?
No, usually it was basically just routine. Dan and I would get in the room and we'd start coming up with ideas, and we'd start playing with riffs, and we'd get the framework of the song together, and then we would start bouncing around ideas to the rest of the guys. And this would cause us to go through and at least get, like I said, some of the framework done.
Uh-huh.
That way you can go back and say, all right, if the framework is solid, then you can go back and you can start looking at different things and tweaking here and there. And it was easy to do that. Obviously, with technology now, so you just, you record it and then you send it over in an email.
Yeah.
And 10 minutes later, you got some feedback. So, and that's kind of how the process went.
And that is a modern way that a lot of the bands do it today, and it's kind of amazing. And it's kind of amazing, not only does it save you money, but once it all comes together and you hear the final product, it's kind of amazing to realize that people don't even have to be in the same room anymore to deliver a product like this.
I know, it's so crazy. It's just not. It's not the way it used to be at all. And I really do enjoy the process.
Yeah.
And I also something about this. Being in the same town and just hanging out in the studio and just there's something to be said for that as well. But it is what it is. Half to others or another.
Yeah. With that being said, I got to ask. What's the chemistry like in the band as far as how everybody gets along? I mean, like you said, for example, you're not in a recording studio every day with other guys in the band. So when you guys are, get ready to go on tour, does it make it that much fun that you're not constantly, seeing each other every day, and then it makes it that much funner when you do see each other?
Oh yeah, I mean we got the greatest group of guys. I mean, they're just super humble, great to be around, nice guys, love having fun. They're not too serious. There's not an ego in the band. I mean, it's perfect. It really is, and I think it's a unique dynamic because you're right. It's like you could find a great talented group of individuals, but some have certain egos, some don't like each other, and don't live with that kind of stuff, and that is not good mojo at all. We're super. We're privileged and blessed to have such a great dynamic.
And let me ask you now. You guys are, I know, signed with a great label, Pavement Entertainment. Have you been with them long, or did you just recently sign up with them?
This was recent. Yeah, this was recent. As of November of last year, we had gotten together, and it was great because we were looking for someone to take us to an area we've never been before, and they were a perfect fit, and they've been awesome.
And
Really have.
I got to ask you, did they come to you, or did you guys send them like a package? And the reason I ask is it's a great little label, as I'm sure you know. And what I dig about the fact about Pavement Entertainment is, Tim King, the bass player from Soil. It's his label, and I dig the fact that you got a label like this that's actually got an actual musician that's running it. So he's lived the life. So when he's helping out these other bands, he really knows what he's talking about, as opposed to a guy in a suit who never has plugged in a guitar or anything or written a song. So and I think it's also cool that you would expect a guy like that to maybe have like an all metal label, but he's got rap acts and everything you can imagine on the label, which I think makes for a much better label.
For sure, and you got a little diversity in there, which is great. I love the bands on this label. I mean, they're all amazing, and and there's so many to mention. It's just and having Tim on board and Mark, and these guys are great. They're great guys. They know what they're doing, and it is nice to be able to be in a partnership with someone that is that has been where it is you want to go.
Yeah.
And they know what pitfalls are above. They say, hey, listen, this is what's going to happen ahead. I've been here, been down this road before. Maybe we should weigh in a little bit on making certain decisions, and that's very valuable.
And at the end of the day, what I love about that label is not just the diversity, but it's a label that not the fact that it's just a label that's ran and operated by a fellow musician himself, but I love the fact that they, if they put out, like, say you guys put out your album and it doesn't sell, the first week it's out, they don't drop you right away. They really try to develop the artist. I mean, at the end of the day, it's a business. Yeah.
You just never. The crazy thing is, you just never know.
Yeah.
You just never know what people are going to. I mean, we could write some music, and I think it's amazing. Personally, because I really like it. But that doesn't mean the rest of the population is going to follow you just like it.
Yeah.
So, but I do believe. I mean, obviously, the songs they're solid.
Yeah.
And they lend themselves to being acceptable enough for the majority of the folks out there that are into this kind of music. And it's just a matter of getting heard. And that's the hard part. But these guys are obviously all about getting behind their bands and making sure that they get some exposure.
And on that note, let me ask you, let's talk a little bit about the power of internet, because, I mean, one thing that amazes me about the internet, a lot of the bands, that I interview and stuff, I find on the internet, and I think it's amazing that, and you probably get this yourself, people sending you messages on your Facebook page and stuff from, countries where the band hasn't even played yet, and when you stop and think about, we haven't even stepped foot in this country, and this person is, they're listening to our message, or our music halfway around the world, that's just got to kind of trip you out.
It's very cool. It's a little surreal. Just because, like I said, we could have never had this 20 years ago. It would have never existed, and it is. I mean, it's amazing. And we've been very fortunate to create a solid base of fans all over Europe and actually all over the world. So, and it's not that we were focused on doing that either. That's just kind of happened that way.
That's the beauty of it. Like I said, years ago, when the grunge scene started really breaking out back in the early '90s, you hear about how people saying that grunge music killed rock music, and I don't necessarily agree. I kind of think it was more the record labels in the sense that, okay, all these other classic rock bands that were once selling, we're going to just drop all these and we're going to sign nothing but grunge bands. I think it was more of a record label that kind of ruined it, which brings me to my next point. I was reading on your guys' little press release you put out that you kind of said that your band has kind of taken off from all those great bands like Pearl Jam and Alice in Chains and Soundgarden. You're kind of taking the baton, so to speak, and I dig that, but because when I listen to your music, it's like I can hear a little bit of a Pearl Jam vibe. But what I got to tell people is you don't come across as like a Pearl Jam clone. You guys really got your own sound, which I kind of dig, because that's hard to do these days.
Oh man, it's super hard, and unfortunately, we write what comes natural and what we really love, and hope at the end of the day that it comes out sounding unique. And that's hard to do, but because you know how rock music is. To try to be 100% total original, meaning we're going to sound 100% different than anybody else that's never been on the planet before, is just impossible.
Yeah, I mean, let's be honest.
It's all been done before. I mean, it's a matter of but how has it been done, and what version, and so we do the best we possibly can, and we get out there, and I think the big thing for us was it was maybe more so when you saw the huge era of big rock bands that were out when 80s and 90s started closing down, but when that started closing down, so did big arena shows.
Yeah.
You know, so when those guys started dying down, or like you said, the labels had a certain impact and the exposure was decreased, I think that we missed something there. And I think that I would like to see that go back up. Now we're seeing a ton of festival activity and big, huge rock crowds again, and I see that all coming back around. And we were just kind of an interesting niche because we're not 16, 17 years old. We've been around for a while, and we've seen that shift. But we're just playing what we love, but we also play it in from a perspective of we want to play. Because we're fans, right? So we're fans first and foremost. So we want to play for the fans, and we're going to play what we would like to hear. So if we miss going to the big, arena rock shows and what you get out of seeing it, whether it's the sound, whether it's the entertainment factor, the stage, whatever it is, we want to bring all that back. And not for us, we just love it. We just want to, and we're like I said, we're fans. We want to help move that along. Hopefully, we can get. And play a little bit of role in seeing that all come back around again. Yeah,
because those are the best type of bands. I mean, I've heard like Paul Stanley from Kiss over here saying, we were once the guys in the audience. We kind of took the guitars and we jumped up on stage and we're doing the show we always wanted to see. And see, that's the thing. If somebody wants to just listen to your record, they can go home and put it on the CD player or whatever on their computer. But if you want to give them the ultimate rock show, you want to give them, when somebody pays, to come to a concert, you want to give them a little something extra. I mean, Deep Purple's a great example of that. They're like the ultimate jam band back in the day. I mean, you had Richie Blackmore, you had John Lord and Ian Pace. They would just jam, like do a 30-minute jam session to just one song, And so those are bands that people really love to go see because they get their money's worth,
For sure. Yeah, these guys will put on a show. There's an entertainment factor to it, and like you said, it's not something you'll get just by putting your headphones in and just picturing it. Yeah. So we live for this stuff. I mean, playing live is our thing. It's what gets us going. So we try to leave it on stage the way we'd like to, as a fan, go see our favorite bands leave it on stage. That's kind of our litmus test. How well we're doing is, if we left everything we've got on the stage and we performed, we entertained, people had an absolute blast and had a good time, well then we're doing our job.
Now you mentioned some of the big rock festivals. Now those are huge, of course, over there in Europe. And there's a couple of annual events they have here in America. And I was before you called, I was on your Facebook page, and I was seeing you guys are going to be playing at Rocklahoma. Now, how cool is that? And how did you guys, being a relatively new band, get on such a cool festival as that?
Well, I tell you, it's lots of just like anything else, in this business, it's a lot about connections and friends and the relationships that you've made over the past. Yeah. And I think it's a combination of that and making sure that you're still relevant. Yeah. Making sure that you have music coming out. I think there's a lot of different factors that play into that. We were really fortunate when we had released our last album, New Blood. A few years back, we were able to play the Welcome to Rockville Festival. Wow! And that was a lot because of the label that we were on at the time, and the connections we had. But we also had a single out, and it was hitting rock radio. Yeah. And so timing worked out well for that. I gotta tell you, the guys at John Coons, the guys at Rock Rage Radio, these guys have done an amazing job of helping us out, and making certain connections where other people, before you have a single out or before you can get to rock radio or whatnot, internet radio has been a big proponent for us, which has been great. So I've certainly been able to help. And Rocklahoma was just a good example of that because we're getting together with a bunch of great bands and able to play the pre-party for that, which is going to be a blast. And will you be you'll be on stage, of course, but when you're not playing on stage, are you going to be checking out the other bands there? Oh yeah, of course. Yeah. I'm a fan. Any chance I get, you won't find me hiding. I'll be out in the audience having a good time. So it's just kind of how we are. And then you mentioned having a single out. Your guys' current single, of course, is the song
Underneath My Skin. I checked out the video. You got a real cool video for it. Kind of a performance clip. Now, the thing is, that looks like a real professionally shot video. It's like something you would see on MTV back in the day when they actually played music, if you know what I mean.
Right.
Yeah, so talk a little bit about that. Like, why did you choose that as a song you're going to release as a single, and talk a little bit about the making of a video, because it's a cool looking video, like I said.
Yeah, well, I think the first thing is that when we started writing the album, we always started thinking, which song are we writing that's going to be the big song that might be going to radio?
Yeah.
And so that was kind of a filter we used as we were writing all the songs. Some songs we knew, all right, this is probably not going to be the first pick radio songs. It might be a little too heavy, or it might be whatever. But when we had this was literally the last song we wrote on the album.
Wow.
And so so it was, and it was the hardest one for us to write, and maybe that was because it was our last song on the album that we were writing. We didn't really want to stop the process, so we kept changing certain things around and whatnot. That when we finally got done with it, we're like, I really like this song, and we like all of the songs. It was every song that we write. In succession, our goal is to make the next song better than the last one.
That's the goal, yeah.
So that's the goal. So, so surprised and happy that we kind of had that theme going through writing this album. And by the time we finished it up, we said, you know what, we let them on. It's going to be a huge piece of cake. So, fortunately, Tim and John and Mark and the guys at Penguin, I said, guys, you need to help me pick something here, because
too close to it. Yeah, too close to it. Yeah.
so they ended up tagging that song, and you know what, this is the song you should go with. I said, oh, that's great. So we jumped back quickly and said, well, let's come with a video, because you know how it is nowadays. If someone hears a song, they're going to want to go straight to YouTube or somewhere else to listen to it. So we worked with a guy named locally, David Borges, lives here in Florida, and this guy's he's really, really, really good. He's got a great eye. He's just a very professional guy. He's done some really great videos, and so we had the opportunity to work with him, and we came up with something simple. We didn't want to do anything totally crazy, but we wanted to do something simple, something that was classy, and something that helped depict what the song was about. And so we came up with some ideas, and we let them run with it.
And how happy are you guys with the response you've gotten so far?
Oh, it's been amazing. Yeah. I mean, it really is. I mean, I'd say the majority of all the people that we've talked to or heard from, their response has been. I couldn't have asked for a better response. I mean, now it doesn't mean everyone's going to love it.
Can't please everybody. Yeah. But I mean, just as far as from what you see, most people are reacting to it positive, and you're hearing great things about it, getting great reviews now. The album itself, like you said, is called Voices. It comes out May 18th. What else can you tell us about the album as far as like how many songs are we getting on the album, and what are your plans as far as the tour behind it?
So there's 10 tracks on the album, and then what we're immediately going to get out there once this thing releases on the 18th. Mm-hmm. We're heading out. So we'll be able to Oklahoma on the 24th. We'll be hitting Chicago, Jacksonville. We'll be hitting a few other markets. Mm-hmm. We'll be so about a week and a half. I'll end up in West Virginia at Battle of the Mountains Festival.
Wow.
With Mushroom Head, so that'll be there's a bunch of great bands that are going to be at that festival. So we wanted to get out there right when the album hit, so we could support it a little bit, and flex out the material a little bit and do it live and see the response.
And the cool thing to me about a band like you guys is I do think you could be maybe categorized as a metal band, alternative rock, or something like that. And kind of like what you're saying, I could see you playing with a band like Mushroom Head and maybe a Soil and different types of grunge band. I think you guys have opportunity to play with various different types of acts as opposed to just nothing but metal, which is kind of helps to build a fan base. I think that way.
Yeah, and we were kind of hoping because I'm a huge metal fan. So
yeah.
So selfishly, we wanted to be able to play with guys like that. We wanted to be able to go out and stand on our own against bands that were heavier than us. But not to the point where, like you said, we couldn't go out there and their fans wouldn't like us. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But the other side of the coin, we wanted to make sure that we would be able to go out with bands that might not be quite as heavy, but their fans would still like us. So it gives us some flexibility. To do some different things, like you said, to grow our audience and fans, to a broader range.
And so on the 10 tracks, I got to ask, would you say overall, like your single Underneath My Skin, that's kind of a good overview what most of the songs sound like, or would you say there's a bit of diversity, like each song kind of stands out on its own?
That's hard. Yeah, no, I would immediately say no. It does not. It's not. That's not a. I love that song, but it doesn't explain. It doesn't depict the entire album at all.
Yeah. Okay. Cool.
So there's definitely some harder, faster tracks on there. There's a lot of melodies throughout. There's some really heavy parts in some, and there's one that's based as an acoustic song we did.
Cool.
So it goes from one extreme to the next, but it still carries that kind of that dark theme throughout the entire album, and it's it's an emotional album. Cool. It takes people up and down.
Kind of on a musical journey. That's very cool. Now, you mentioned like you have an acoustic song, so I was curious. Have you guys toyed around with the idea that maybe during the live show you might kind of have do a couple acoustic songs during the set?
For sure. For sure.
Yeah. How cool is that?
Yeah, like I said, I think it really comes down to like anything else with the audience you're playing in front of.
Audience, yeah.
Yeah, and but I think that I think that this song is not your typical acoustic.
Yeah.
I think that even the folks that are really into the heavier music will. I think
could get into it.
I think they'll get into the acoustic song just as much as they get with the rest of the songs on the album.
Yeah, that's definitely a cool thing. Now, being that you're the main songwriter, I was curious. Do you kind of dig it when you wrote these songs about, but maybe somebody sends you an email or something on your Facebook page and they tell you, hey, I listened to your song. And, it reminded me when I went through this personal experience, and you kind of think, well, that's not really what it's about, but hey, that's the message you got out of that song.
Yes.
Good for you.
Yeah, no, and that's that we use that as well as a filter as we're writing too. We don't want to be so specific where we're telling a story that is literally specific, but we kind of want to leave it somewhat ambiguous because I know exactly what I
writing about, yeah.
But I do like the listener to be able to attach themselves to the songs for something that makes them think of them, or them in a particular situation, or something they've gone through, or whatever the case may be.
Okay, well, I'd like to thank you, Mike, for taking time to talk to me today. It's been a real pleasure, and we can do that again down the line. Just let me know. But in the meantime, is there anything you'd like to say to all your fans out there before you wrap this up?
Yeah, go out there and get that album. I think you're gonna totally dig it. It's at May 18th. You can go to iTunes. You can go pre-order now. To Amazon, iTunes, any other digital outlets. There'll be physical product coming out, and then Riffs do us a favor. Go out there and go to farewelltofear.com. Farewell2fear.com and sign up for our mailing list, because we'll give you guys deals on certain things. We'll get you information on what's going on ahead of time, and let you know where the tour is happening, and just try to connect with as many fans as we possibly can. So
I love that.
Don't be shy. Yeah,
I love that.
Hit us up on social.
Keep in touch with the fans. Now, very last thing I got to ask you. I almost forgot. I got to ask you because I do dig the name of the band, and I got to ask you kind of what's the story behind the band name, because I know that's one of the hardest things is coming up with the name.
Yeah, and this was probably the easiest I've ever I've been in many bands, but this is probably the easiest just because the message itself, the concept Farewell to Fear was more of a philosophy before it was made into a band, and the message that was lived my whole life, really.
Wow.
Which was hey, if you let fear stand in your way, there's no way you'll end up on the other side of where it is that you want to go. if you let fear impede whatever it is you're trying to accomplish, whether it's in a relationship, whether it's in business, whether it's in just your pursuit of happiness, I mean, there's too much other garbage out there.
Yeah.
I mean, and if you let too much of that in, you listen to too much of that stuff, fear will stop you dead in your tracks, and you'll live a life of mediocrity, and that's just it's not what we were designed to do. I think if anything else, it's empowering.
Yeah.
Go out there, say no to fear, break through those walls, and then and see what's on the other side. Live the life to your fullest.
I love that a guy from a metal band with a positive message, because I always believe, kind of like what you're saying, anything in life that is worthwhile, it takes hard work, and if you like you say, you got to at least reach for the stars and try to make your dream come true. Otherwise, you're going to go through life, wondering, well, what would have happened if I had stuck to that.
You got it.
And so
you don't look back on your life when whatever. If you're God willing, you're 80 or 90 years old, look back and say, what if? What if I would have done that? What if I would have done that? Or I should have. Don't ever say that. So live your life every day. I mean, fear's going to try to creep its way in, but it's most of the time. Fear is not what it seems to be. It's not it's not real. It's something in your own mind. So get over it and move on and keep your eye on that.
Well, yes. Well, we're gonna say farewell to fear now, and I want you guys to all check out this great new band when they come to your town, and pick up the album when it comes out May 18th. Once again, Mike, thanks for doing the interview tonight, and I'd love to do this again down the line. The interview probably in about 3 to 4 weeks, so I'll let you know once it goes up, and you can post it on all your sites. But take care, my friend, and if you should need anything, just feel free to reach out to me.
Jason, thank you, brother. I appreciate all your help, buddy.
Okay, take care. Bye-bye.